Hello, you're watching Leeds Student Television. I'm Edward Vivian, and today I'm going to be talking to some of the candidates for the role of Leeds University Union Equality and Liberation Officer. So if you could just all briefly introduce yourselves, tell us, your name, your course, and why you wanted to run.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm a fourth year Chinese and International Development student, and obviously I'm running for Equality and Liberation. And I wanted to run because university was really tough for me, and a real challenge. And I want to try and remove those barriers to make it as easy as possible for as many people as possible, so no one had to go through my experience.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so my name is Artemis Kavalaki. I am studying business management. I'm in my first year, and I want to run because mainly I want to provide a safer zone for students in order to be able to express themselves and be given guidance and support, especially students that face discrimination and racism.
Thank you very much.
My name is Sue. I am a second year sociology student. I'm also a school rep, student ambassador, and a committee member for the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. I wanted to run because I'm like the first person in my family to go to university. I come from a working class background, and just being a school rep, I realized that there were some things that I wanted to implement, but I didn't have like as much freedom in that role. So this role would allow me to do more. So that's why I wanted to run.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shivani. I'm from India and I'm doing my master's in management. And right now I'm in Leeds and I am in hall executive for Blenheim Point, that is university accommodation. And I wanted to run especially for equality role. Like after, like Sue said, that even I am the first child to go to university, and when it comes to girl child in my country, we are not treated equal. And I'm so proud of myself that I've made my way this far. And after coming to university, I have seen like many inequalities and many things, many biases, and I was like, okay, I have to maybe if I get a chance, I would do something and contribute some work from my side. So I felt that this role would be the great one. So yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Those were all very interesting answers. So the next question we have is, if elected, what would be your top three priorities and what are your key manifesto points?
So I have many ideas, but I have three main themes, and with that comes policy points. But my three main themes are improve accessibility for all students, and to do that, I want to make the Leeds financial student support bursaries available on Leeds abroad, train customer-facing LeadLUU staff members in basic British Sign Language, and have study skills sessions for neurodiverse students with no diagnosis required. And my next theme is significant support for the LGBT plus community. With LGBT plus students 42% more likely to experience depression and anxiety, we as a university need to support them a lot, support us a lot, as I am part of the community. To do that, I want to have a permanent space on campus for LGBT plus community and societies. And my third theme is to improve inclusion. And I'll want to do that by working with anti-racist charities to run a campaign on casual racism, because in the last couple months, years, especially during the pandemic, it's been extremely clear how international students and ethnic minority students are treated pretty badly, and it's just seen as really normal and normalized, and I want to stamp that out ASAP Rocky and as soon as possible. And also my final policy point is I want the union content to be in the three most spoken languages on campus, because as Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head, and if you talk to a man in his own language, it goes to his heart. Because I think that having our union is all about our social side of the university, and it would be improved access way more for people whose first language isn't English.
Okay, so my main objective, if I'm elected, is to arrange group meetings and helplines where people will be able to talk with each other, students who face discrimination and racism, or in minority groups will be able to talk with each other in order to open up themselves, because it is easier to open up to someone who has the same experience as you have. Another goal I have is to provide and promote a diverse campus by building a team where more job opportunities will be available for the students. And finally, to show that racism is not acceptable by enforcing a zero tolerance policy.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the things that I would like to start is so for BAME. So as a school rep, I've been trying to start a BAME alumni event. So obviously there is a BAME attainment a gap at the university, especially Leeds too. And one of the reasons why is because BAME students don't feel included and represented enough. So having an alumni event as a school rep, I was doing that, but as I would like to address BAME attainment gap more in my role. So have more events, or I think there would be online as far as I can see right now. But so address the BAME attainment gap. Sorry, I need to stop waffling. Okay, next. I would like to collaborate with the wellbeing coordinator. Sorry, it's not coordinator, is it? It's another name, I can't think of it now. Because BAME people, especially BAME men as well, have the stigmatized about talking about their mental health, and I want to kind of collaborate with them to make sure that they're including the BAME community and obviously LGBTQ community and women, but for the most part, the stigmatized, so who are not encouraged to talk about their mental health and well-being. Also, I would like to start an initiative on the campus, hashtag #MyRacistCampus. So a safe space where people feel encouraged to talk about any issues that they have faced, even if they don't think that it's important. I've seen in the news so many times people have racist encounters at the university. I think we all know about the Manchester black male who was harassed by the security. I'm just so with that, I thought, I wonder how much of this happens at the University of Leeds and how much is not being addressed. So if there was a safe space where they are encouraged to talk about these encounters, then maybe we would see more of that. And finally, I would like to do something with housing. Working class and first person to go to university, I didn't really go, I didn't have access to go to accommodations and see what they were about, see the culture and everything. I just did everything online. And now with everything online as it is anyway, I wonder how much students are struggling with finding the right accommodations. So I would like to create an online platform for students right now currently to give their feedback, but it's not informal feedback, and then there could be some sort of survey that students could take, and then we could tell them which accommodation would be best suited for them. Since everything is online right now, I think this would be very beneficial for groups in the liberation groups, but also everyone else too, since it is online. So those are the three things I would like to do. I'm sorry if I waffled a bit and got a bit nervous. Sorry, I'm not a very confident speaker, but.
So if I have been elected, I would focus on three questions which were asked by Rachel. First is diversity in LUU. In Leeds University, we have many international students studying, and every year we have a lot of international students pumping into LUU University. But coming to LUU, I don't think there are so many international students who are officers. And coming to Asians, especially, we have just Franks, as far as I know, into the officers panel. And coming to the commuters, to the students, I am staying in a university accommodation, but I have many friends who are staying in a private accommodation and they don't have a membership to Edge. But do we have a membership to Edge? I think this is not fair. I think students are to be treated equally, and if you're giving membership to one student and not giving to other student, it is not fair. If I am elected for the equality officer, the first thing I would do is provide the Edge membership for all the students, not only the university dorm students. And the third thing is for the disability. So for them, disability students who have taken a big step, like choosing to come to university and study and progress themselves in their lives, they have already achieved so much. So from the university side, I think universities should do something for them. Just like a small gesture would be great help. Just like providing them transportation facilities from wherever they live to the university, that would be very great. And people come, especially for the internationals who come from different countries, they would probably not know how to transport, and transportation and all will be very difficult. And being disabled and being a new student to a new student in the city would be more miserable to them. So I would make university to provide the transportation facilities and accommodation facilities for disabled. And of course, I would like to support LGBT society and all the, I don't want to tell black, Asian, brown and all. I want to support everyone equally.
Okay, thank you. So if we could just briefly go back around again, and everyone just say very quickly 3 main points.
Improve accessibility is for all students, low income, neurodiverse and disabled students, significant support for the LGBT plus community, and improve inclusion and stamp out racism on our campus. Vote for Tash.
Thank you.
Arrange group meetings and helplines in order to provide a safe zone. Provide and promote, build a team actually in order to accommodate all needs and open more job opportunities. And finally, enforce a zero tolerance policy towards racism and discrimination.
So for me, it would be helping everyone find accommodation and being confident with it. My racist campus, so I'd like to start that campaign, and I would like to collaborate with the wellbeing coordinator on wellbeing issues and allow BAME students to talk about their mental health.
Okay, I want to. So my first priority would be like Edge membership for each and every student, and that I just forgot to tell the point before. I would like to request university, if I'm an officer, to make all the societies and clubs for free. Like everyone can join whatever the club they want, and it's not that only if you pay you have to join and something like that. So the first one would be a free membership and membership for the Edge and other societies and clubs. And second would be for the disabilities, it is the transportation facilities and accommodation facilities for them. And the third thing, as I told you, free membership for the Edge for the commuter students who are not living in the university dorms, but the private accommodation. These are my three.
Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, that was very interesting. And now we're going to focus on more specific questions related to equality and liberation. So the first question I'd like to ask is, which goes out to everyone, will you push to diversify management at LUU and the university at senior levels?
I'll quickly answer this one. So I work at Old Bar in the Old Bar kitchen, and I do think you do have a really good position in place, but I think as much as we can diversify thought, we should be having a wide range of people from a wide range of backgrounds in like the Board of Trustees the Board of Trustees position, in the in senior management, as we said before, because I think as much as we can have like diversity of thought, we can also, it's also really nice for like, especially like low level employees, for our outlet employees like myself, to see someone who will have similar experiences to them up at that higher level. It's definitely something that I would push for 110%, because I think it really impacts how the union deliver their outcomes and deliver their services.
So as I said before, I would like to build a team where people from diverse backgrounds will take part in order to provide more job opportunities for even for people with disabilities or diverse backgrounds. So I think it's really important to promote to have a team coming from different backgrounds.
I also think that LUU have been really good at pushing for diversity, and we have seen a lot more diversity, I think, recently. But I think it could always be improved. I think when you start university and you don't see people that look like you and come from similar backgrounds as you, you are kind of like unencouraged to do some things or run for some certain roles. So I said unencouraged, but it's discouraged. I can't even speak, sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I would definitely push for more diversity. I think even like within academia, we don't see as many BAME professors. And again, with the BAME alumni gap, that one reason students say that they don't fit in at university, they don't feel included, is because they don't see people like them from backgrounds similar to them. So I would definitely try and push for more diversity within the LeadLUU.
Okay, as I already told that I can see diversity everywhere in the university amongst the students. Like we are like so many international students coming to Leeds. But whereas the officers and the if you come like hierarchy method, the top management level or the middle level of the management doesn't have diversity as far as I can see it. But in the students, amongst the students, there is a lot of diversity. We can see like many different countries of students are coming to Leeds, but I don't think there is diversity in LUU or the top management of the university. And I would definitely encourage to be more diversified.
Okay, thank you very much for the answers to that question. The next question we have is, what will you do to ensure commuter students feel more included at LUU?
So I'm not a commuter student, but I have talked to people who are commuter students. I think the biggest thing is the fact that union events are usually on in the evenings and aren't really that if someone comes to uni, like obviously post-COVID world, if someone comes to uni for the day and they're in for your lectures and then you go home, if there's a social event at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., then I think that really excludes them from the community. Also with drinking socials as well, having more socials that are less focused on alcohol and more focused on just having a good time. So I would definitely push to have more union work with the activities officers. I've talked to current people running for activities officers and talk to them and get more activities, union events during the day, and encourage societies to do more events during the day for commuter students as well.
So I would like to focus on expanding the shuttle buses route in order for commuter students who live far away from campus to be able to use it and have access to the campus on different times and easier.
I think inclusion of traveling students into the university is really important, because if they don't have these events for them which are accessible, again I agree with Natasha with the timings, they won't feel included. I think pushing for more events and stuff is what everyone will try to go for, but I think it's more important to have like constant and open communication with them and ask them how they would like to have be included and what they want to see and how they feel how they're missing out with university life. So I would try and have like more open and direct communication constantly, not just in the beginning, and just see what they would like. As I'm not a commuter student, so I wouldn't know, and I haven't spoken to many, but I would like to have more direct communication with them and figure that out.
Okay, thank you.
To me, as I told you in my manifesto, that in my manifesto I've included that commuter students will have a membership in the Edge as well. And the other thing, which is my personal experience as well, like traveling to university, I just stay 1 minute away from the Parkinson building. But also I feel so stranger. Like I'm a new international student and this is a new place for me. And traveling, like walking after getting dark, and we all know UK that it gets dark very quickly, especially in the winters. At 3 o'clock, everything will be like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So like walking out was like very challenging for me. And I just be 1 minute away from the Parkinson buildings. And I was thinking about what if I lived somewhere away from the university, and how more challenging it would be for me. So I would request the university to like help people to travel who are staying far from the university, at least in the winter time, because it gets really quickly dark. And for me, it was like very challenging. I could not walk outside, being a newcomer to the country, and like adapting the atmosphere, adapting the climate, and walking to university. It was very difficult for me, and definitely I would include this point to after me becoming an officer.
Okay, thank you. We've got, I believe, two more of these style questions left, and we're going to come on to a more light-hearted one to end off. So the third topic-specific question I have is the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that university sees disabled students as an afterthought, such as when they closed the accessible study rooms with specialist equipment, while the rest of the library remained open during lockdown. How will you ensure that the university takes the needs of disabled students seriously before they have had to make complaints about lack of accessibility?
So I work as a personal care assistant on top of the old bar job. I do too many things. And I work as a personal care assistant for a disabled student, and it is glaringly obvious that there is just not enough thought. I've looked at the university's policies and things like that, and at the end of the day, they have good intentions, but they just don't put enough things into action. They're not talking to actual disabled students. As I'm also neurodiverse as well, and having ADHD, and it's been a nightmare. This trying to access support, it's been a nightmare because they can say pretty things and they can say things that sound good but if they're not providing the actual access and support, that's not going to help anybody. So I think the very first thing to do that is to get actual disabled students, work with the Disabled Students Network, work with because there's with the disability the disability school, and to work with them and see what actually is needed, because they are a valid part of our community and they deserve to have the same opportunities and rights as anybody else. And that's also why I wanted to do the neurodiverse study skill sessions regardless of diagnosis. And that's also why I really want to work very closely with the wellbeing team as well with disabled students, because they're in all parts of society, disabled people are being forgotten and not being treated well. And it's something for me that riles me up to no end. And they're not doing enough, and I'd be on their case. I'm passionate enough to be on their case in this, and to push for meetings with the equality policy units, and get the Disabled Students Network involved in the discussion. Thank you.
So I want to work with you in order to ensure that disabled students are given the attention they need to be given, that there are available jobs for them in order if they need to work, and also to ensure that there is a wide range of facilities they can access, no matter what their disability is.
I think it's very important for disabled students to get attention and constant communication with LeadLUU to make sure that they feel heard and respected. As a disabled student myself, I have anxiety, and sometimes I think when I try to communicate with the certain people, I don't hear back from them as quick, and it kind of makes you feel excluded in that way. So I do understand that disabled students definitely are an afterthought. So for me, I would try to make sure that we work with them, with the Disabled Student Network, and find out what they would like to be implemented, ask them what they are looking for, and I would try and go about providing them with those services and making sure that they are accessible straight away and quick, and they are able to talk to someone, especially straight away. And that's what I would do, because I think that it is an issue.
Okay, so I would like to tell my personal experience about the support from the university to the disabled students. So I have a friends who live in the accommodation as well as outside, and they are disabled. I would like to call them especially challenged people, and they literally have zero academic support from the university. And I'm very sorry to tell that, because my friend can't hear, and it is all online, and she can't just hear what teachers are studying, and she always need a machine to hear. And the English which we speak, the accent is different, and the teaching accent would be definitely different. So she was like crying a lot that my teachers are talking very fast and I couldn't hear that, and I'm not able to do my coursework and something like that. And I told her like, okay, just go and approach the class teacher or the program leader and they would suggest you something. But when she approached them, they were like, you have to we recorded it and you just have to listen it thrice or 4 times or something like that. But that is not the solution. How can she listen the same recording for the 4 times? Like, we all are studying same subject, and you, without helping her, you just ask her to listen again and make deal the situation on her own. And this is one situation. And other, the girl which I know, she lives in the first floor, and it she is physically challenged, and she couldn't walk every day for the classes back in September when we have face to face classes, and that made her not to go to university. She was taking the online lectures, and whenever she has offline classes she would not go because there was no support. And this made me like, okay, I have to, whenever I become something in the university, I tried for many jobs in the university, but this job I felt, okay, if I become a equality officer, maybe I would help them in tackling this. And in my manifesto also I've told like disability students were my priority.
Okay. Or did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that outside of COVID, I know that access for disability students is still not great, and I would try to improve that, because I know of disabled students not being able to attend trips just because of transport issues. So if I was elected, I would definitely make sure that I would be in contact with societies to make sure that they are making sure that everyone is included in these trips and that transport is available, whether that is funding or something else. I would make sure that I would help them in that way too. Outside of COVID, I just wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. The last question we have is the pandemic has widened the equality and accessibility gap between students, whether that be access to technology, finances, or necessary support. What do you think the university or union could do to remedy this?
I want to say that that is definitely the case, especially for people from liberation groups. They are going to find it a lot harder to work online, and obviously they are finding it harder to work from home than other people. So from liberation groups, I think we need to, again, I say this a lot, but open communication, ask them in what ways are they lacking, in what support would they like to see, and I would try to implement that in that way. I'm also part of the Plus program, so that's like an access scheme, and they have like a lot of amazing things that they push for students, and I would like to promote that more, even for people who are not part of. So even for students who are not part of the program, I think I would like to promote their activities and what they are doing and getting more people involved. So if they are struggling at home due to COVID and accessibility, then they can feel more included in initiatives that are going on.
Okay. Okay. So this is something that I think affects me like deeply personally, because for some fun reason I sit at a lot of intersections in society. I'm not going to go into it because I don't think it's pertinent, but it just means I've had the experiences. My mom always says, like, Natasha, you have five clocks against you. How are you functioning? I was like, I don't know. I'm not really. And this pandemic's been a mess. It's been a mess for everyone on every part of our society, but for university students, it's been a state, and there hasn't been enough support, and there hasn't been enough help. And someone who is a low income and who is low income as well, and also I was in part of the Plus program. So hey, see, I'm part of the Plus program as well. They're incredible. I think they're, in my personal opinion, they're probably the only part of the university that actually seems to be helping and seems to be pushing, and I'd want to spread that help to as many parts and societies and things like that as well as we can. I think the social aspect of uni is gone, so we miss that. The in-person thing is gone, and as someone with ADHD, I find it so difficult to just be able to focus in my own home. uni, as I said before, has been a very hard time for me before pandemic and post pandemic. And pandemic's been has exacerbated so many things. So for me in my campaign, I would essentially be wanting to do. That's why I want to do the study skills sessions for neurodiverse students. This is why I wanted to increase year abroad things, because the university as a year we champion being a university that sends the majority of our students on years abroad, but doesn't give us support. Because when I was on my year abroad, the year I needed the financial support the most was my year abroad. That's why I want to run, essentially, because the 4 years I've been here hasn't been an easy 4 years. They've been tough, but I've grown from it. I've learned from it. And I want to use the things that I've learned and grown to deliver to as many people as possible, so that nobody goes through it again. And just be on people's cases. I can be very annoying. And I will be very annoying with this campaign. You'll see me everywhere. And that's the best way to get people to listen. And also, as Sue said, I completely agree with the communication. But I just think I have the passion and the drive to push the university to actually pay us for the £9 we're paying, and also the upwards of 20 grand that international students are paying, which drives me insane. But yes, I have the passion, I have the drive to push all my ideas through.
So coming to the finances, and of course, everyone in the world got affected, not only UK or not only India, or some parts of the world. So everyone got affected. And coming to us, like, we are not from UK and our currency is different. For example, for us, one UK pound, like 1 GBP is 100 rupees. And it is like very much for us. Like, we back in India, people lost jobs, and even in UK there is lockdown even now, and few students came here, like, assuming that they would do some part-time job and they would support themselves at least for the groceries or something like that. But here we don't have any part-time jobs, and we have to pay all the accommodation fee, the tuition fee, and everything went online. But we didn't get any fee concession from the university. And even the people who are living in the university accommodation, they didn't get any concession, any reduction in the fees. And that is very disappointing. And you can't expect everyone to have same amount of income. And at least at this times, we would expect some help from the university, and we didn't get that. And I'm happy that LUU has initiated this emergency fund, and that is like a very great initiative, and I really appreciate it. But I would like university to, like, give any kind of concession in the fees, especially for the international tuition fee. It is double the amount of the local people. Like, the same course, we are paying the double the amount. Like, the local students have 7,000 to 9,000 fee for the year, and we are paying more than 25,000 for the same course. But why? We are having the same education, same lectures, same professors, same everything is same, but we are paying double the amount, and I don't think so that is something fair.
Okay.
So I would like to work with the university in order to eliminate as much as possible the gap that people from different backgrounds face. For example, UK students are eligible for many funds, while international and many international and EU students aren't. So I would like to work with the well-being officer or the community officer in order to eliminate the gap and help with the rent, and especially for low-income families.
Okay, thank you for all those answers. They're all very good. Might be good again just to go back through quickly. I'll ask the same question if everyone can just sort of summarize as quickly as possible. So yeah, what do you think university or union could do to remedy the widening gap between accessibility and equality?
I think I'll start. The university can give adequate financial support, which they don't. They can provide study skills sessions for people from neurodiverse and physical disabled backgrounds. We can provide community and provide an adequate community so that people feel comfortable in the space that we're in, and hopefully when we're back on campus. And finally, we can have a permanent space in campus for LGBT plus people so that they feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, we're a Leeds community, we need to be a community, and they need to be providing us adequate support on all levels in all parts of the university.
I'll go next. I think the union needs to provide more financial services. I think they need to be in contact with students more and get more feedback from them, and also I would like to promote more events and campaigns that are going on for students available to them.
I believe that we should increase, we should certainly increase the funding that international students are given, and also offer more job opportunities, especially for students that are from diverse backgrounds and not just for UK students. International students have also the opportunity to have a job or around campus, but it is easier for UK students to find it, I believe.
To be honest, Leeds University is known for the student support and the LeadLUU. When I personally searched for the universities and I came to know about it. But the thing is, the problem is coming in the communication. There are many resources with universities offering to the students, but we don't know whom to approach, how to use the resources. I think this is the gap between the students and the management. They are providing many things, but they're not clear like how to approach, whom to approach, and what is the way to approach. The communication gap, maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, thank you for all your answers so far. And I thought we'd end off with just a little bit more of a relaxed question just to round things off. So when the current COVID restrictions are over, what's the first thing you want to do in Leeds?
I want to go out, dance.
Yeah, I think we all do, to be honest.
Like when back in September, when I came in September to Leeds, it was like, even then there was a lockdown, but it was kind of happening. But now I feel so dead silent everywhere. I can't just bear the silence. You know, back in India, where I come from, a place where at least dogs or animals on the road would walk or do some noise, and people on the road would continuously press the horn, and it would be like always noise and always happening. But when I came to Leeds, I was like, why are everyone so silent? Why can't I hear anything on the road? What's happening? That, you know, that caused me a depression. On a serious note, I went to NHS for the treatment also. Like, I was so depressed, like I'm not hearing anyone, no horn sound, no people are walking on the road. It was like I couldn't accept that. The moment everything is open, I'm gonna party.
Sounds like a plan. What about everyone else?
I think for me, the thing that I do is obviously go see my friends. Everyone that's watching, love you guys, love all the support. Give them a proper hug. I miss hugging people. Such a hugger. But the very first thing, I jump on a goddamn plane, son. Like I'd love to just, I don't even know where, probably not the EU, because you can go, but I'd jump on a plane and go somewhere hot. And just like chill for a bit and just like relax, because as much as obviously I do love a good pint, but I'd love a pint on the beach. I'm not gonna lie, Scarborough's not gonna do it for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And we should hit the gym for sure. Like sitting in the home every day, I just grew my chubby cheeks and I grew fat. Eating all the delicious food, eating, sleeping, and washing the dishes. That's all. I have to run to gym and I have to like half cut my all the weight. Sorry, I'm speaking a lot. Please, just continue.
I think for me, I think Natasha, you have the right idea. I definitely want to do all of what you want to do. I want to see my friends. I want to go sit on a beach too. I just can't wait to do. I don't really want to think about it because it just seems so far away. But I guess we could dream, and I really want to do all of these things. Yeah.
I think what I miss the most is going to the cinema. because I used to go like once or and now there have been so many months that I haven't been there.